Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We've got some pretty cool things to be talking about today. And of course, with everything going on right now, I think it's such an important topic to be talking about, and how we can have our altruism shine through instead of this negativity, and how we can make a change and make the society better for everyone. So let's go through our topics and keep that in mind as we're moving through them, okay? So I am Nicole Sadao. I am the CEO and founder of Let's Thrive 360, the creator of the Altruize app. We're going to discuss not only how you can have an impact and exercise your altruism from home, but then how that can translate into making a good resume for the job and career that you're looking for, and why that's important and how that can be tied in. So again, our mission at Let's Thrive 360 is to help people be better intentionally. And that's with the thought that for us to get better at anything, we need to be purposeful and do it more often. So what if to be better people, we actually have to be purposeful about doing better in our communities and with other people? And the word altruism is at the core of what we do. Altruism actually means to be more concerned about somebody else's welfare than your own. And it's not a word that's used much anymore, but it's a super important word. So that's why it's at the core of our mission. And that's how Altruize came to be, because it's the word that describes exercising your altruism. So last week we talked about mindfulness. So for those of you that are new, that have joined us for the first time now, we've been doing this series now. I think this is the 8th one, and for 8 weeks now. And we've covered topics on how to get different volunteer activities verified from home, what you can do from home, all the way through what that looks like for college admissions, what that looks like for scholarships, what that looks like, and then how you need to be mindful about yourself and your own well-being so that you can help others and be more effective. So that's what we talked about last week. And so I'm just recapping some of that for those of you that are new. So when we talk about the job search, there's some data points that are pretty important to keep in mind. So a candidate that has volunteer activities and credentials on their resume actually has a 27% higher likelihood of finding a job. And if you're in a rural area, that increases up to 55%. So it's a really huge distinction if you're trying to kind of have that competitive edge over other applicants. And then when you think about if people that don't have a high school diploma, if they at least have the volunteer piece on their resume, they've got a 51% higher chance than of attaining that job than if they didn't have that. So it's really important. We'll dig into why that is. So that is just that connection between volunteerism and the career. Again, most people don't think of volunteering as being anything but, hey, I'm going to go help stuff envelopes, or I'm going to, pass out some food at the food pantry. No, this is something that is truly meant to be a part of who you are as a human being. And that follows then into other aspects of your life as well. So the connection is, it provides a history. So especially for high school students, for people that do not have the amount of time to have much on their resume, this is a great way to build up a history of showing up on time, a history of the activities that you're doing, a history of consistency. These are all things that potential employers would want to be able to see, to understand you as a person. And even if you find yourself in a time where you've got a gap in your resume, that can be a difficult situation too. So later on in your lifespan of working and being employed, if there's a gap, make sure that you are volunteering. Again, it proves that you want to be active. You're trying to do something good with your time, even if you're in between jobs. So please keep that in mind as you move through, that this is really important for all those different aspects of building up a history, including any gaps that might occur in that career and job seeking path. The other thing that it does is it helps develop your skills. So again, when the HR, the Human Resource Department, is looking over applications, they're trying to get a feel who you are as a person and what skills you already bring to the table, and then what skills they might have to teach you, right? So if there are certain skills that this job requires that is unique to the place of employment, they already understand they're going to have to teach you those things. But if there are other things that you can bring and show through your volunteering, of things that they don't have to spend time teaching you and grooming you with, then it becomes a really important aspect to use your volunteer opportunities to help highlight that and show that you've got skill development in, Excel spreadsheets, Zoom meeting management, whatever it is that you can utilize the volunteer piece that you've been doing and showcase that on a resume is really important, because again, it's a skill set then the employer does not have to spend time with you on, and that's a cost savings to them to know that they're hiring somebody already with some skill sets that they don't have to do and concentrate on. So why is this important above and beyond even that? Is the switch that companies are making to make sure that they have a good company culture is unprecedented. This is very much the time that companies are caring, so they understand how valuable their employees are, and that their human resources, the people that they have there, are their number one asset. So they want to start taking care of them in a bigger way and allowing and having that company culture to shape the way the company interacts with its community is huge. So 72% of students about to enter the workforce state that a job where they can make an impact was important to their happiness. So the fact that companies now recognize this and actually do meaningful steps in their own culture means they're looking for applicants that already understand that. Again, it's something they don't have to try to teach. And this is one of those things this is a tough one to teach, right? You want to be able to show that that's who you are as a person, and that's who they're hiring. And then along with that, 65% of companies offer paid release time for volunteer programs. So if you think about what that means, they give paid time off, volunteer paid time off, to be able to go pursue a passion that you have and interact with your community. Again, they need to know if that's the person that they're hiring, is that somebody that's coming in already equipped to do that and be a part of that culture or not. So that's why you want to be really, really careful on your applications to prove that you're involved in the community and have been. What's the best way to look for a job? And by the way, if you guys have questions, that's great. Sometimes I don't catch them on the comment side, so please feel free to use that ask a question button too. Best way to look for a job? That's such an open-ended question. If you, first of all, try to find something that you're either interested in learning more about or you already have a passion for. If you're not sure what that is, again, volunteering is a great way to start understanding and feeling it out, what it's going to look like to have a job and to have those types of responsibilities and what that comes with. So everybody sees kind of the public facing piece of jobs and an employee. It's the stuff that's happening on in the background that really you want to be able to dive into to see if it's a fit for you. So, for example, I actually graduated with my degree from University of Wisconsin-Madison in bacteriology, and realized that with that degree, I was just going to be in research the whole time. Great thing. I loved it. I still love bacteriology, learning about the immune system, all that stuff, and got some great experience. But for me personally, there's little human interaction, and I needed that. So I needed to find a career that actually spoke to that as well. So I actually am a chiropractor by degree, now a tech founder. So don't get too hung up on the whole, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Because your life is changing and you will change with it. So just be prepared and make sure you take the opportunity to find out different things that interest you and different ways that you could kind of explore what else is out there. And again, volunteering is such a great way to do that. You don't have to pay for anything. You're not paying for the classes. You're taking the time to learn about it, get an understanding, and get a feel for it. And I encourage you to listen to, and I will be posting all the links that I'm talking about through this at the end. So make sure you stay for the end, and I will be posting the link for the interview that I did with Cira Bennett, who, man, she's got some great insight on resume building and what that looks like, especially from a volunteer side. She's got a great background with Goodwill Industries, Workforce Connection, and the Rockford Community College that she worked with as well. So you're going to want to check it out. All right. As we move along with creating the company culture. So again, I mentioned that corporate responsibility, and 75% of millennials expect their employer to participate in a social good, either with donations or through volunteering. So again, if you're going to be connecting to that big wide world of a career, you're going to want to have stuff already on your resume to show that you're a part of that culture and you're willing to do that. And then 51% of workers expect their employers to allocate work time and resources for their employees to volunteer for social causes. It's a great thing. It's really unique, and it's really a great thing. So you want to be able to take advantage of the ability to intentionally help people in your community. And if you're moving to a new community, then this is a great way to learn about your new community. So we talked about the steps of altruizing. Again, altruizing is being purposeful about your volunteering and your altruism and being good. So some easy steps to remember. You have to start. So you start by setting the goal. So decide what your goal is. Again, if you're going to try to find a way, to create a career, then set the goal that your first step is to start volunteering at a place, maybe it's a medical field, maybe it's the food pantry with culinary stuff. Who knows? You can gain experience in such a number of ways with this. So set the goal. Make sure you're tracking it, because again, that's what's holding you accountable. That's what will help you get to that goal. Make sure it's altruistic. So why are you doing this? Where's the passion? Where's the connection for you that will make it continue and move you forward? Be realistic. So again, make sure that the time frame that you're doing this in, you're able to complete that goal, especially now with safe at home and other restrictions depending on where you live. You want to make sure it's realistic that you can complete these goals. And then make sure you're telling other people about it, because the way you pass on altruizing and goodness is by inviting other people to do the same. I know it might sound silly, but sometimes people actually need an invitation to do stuff because they don't think about it otherwise. So make sure you're telling other people, and man, we could certainly use some good, positive stuff on all of our social media feeds of people doing good stuff. So share that on social media as well and let people know the good that you're doing in your communities. Again, we created the Altruize app to enable and empower volunteers to have this data all in one spot and eliminate the paperwork that goes with this. And to be able also to have this data with you for a lifetime. So I mentioned, if you've got a gap of employment as you're moving on in your careers, you still want to be able to prove that you're altruizing and you're volunteering and you're still a part of the community. Your Altruize app stays with you from the moment you download it until whenever, so you can keep record of how active you've been and truly set those goals. And so again, you can record those goals and then actually send them in for verification as well. So again, we're eliminating the paper. You can send this in to be verified by a nonprofit, a for-profit. So if you've done an internship, for example, or even an individual, if you went and mowed the neighbor's lawn, right? These are different ways that you are volunteering that count and are important, and you want to be able to record that and show that. And then this data, since now it's all in one place finally for you, you've got the opportunity to have some great reporting with that as well to show to a potential HR or college application, whatever it might be. And a couple of things that I've pointed out before, again, it's important for this as well. The skill developments that I talked about, we've got the feature that when you're reporting and getting your activities verified, that we use the 16 career clusters that are recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, that you can categorize your opportunity as one or more of those career skill developments. And again, it helps you then when on the reporting side, if you want to showcase that, you can do that on the reporting side. We also have the journaling feature. This is really helpful and important if you are, in particular, if you're applying for scholarships, colleges for sure. There aren't many jobs that require an essay when applying for them, but those other two definitely do. But even if they don't, the journaling feature allows you to capture the experience, what you're feeling, how's it going, what you're learning, what you like, what you don't like of the volunteer activity that's going on right when it's happening for you, so that when you have to write that essay 4 years later or whatever the case may be, you've got that right at your fingertips to be able to reference and make that essay writing better. So again, if you're going in for that job interview, you do a quick review of your volunteer experience, kind of what that meant to you, and you're ready for the interview with those questions that they might ask about your experience, and you've got it fresh on your mind. So there's that. We've got our Altruizing Ambassadors that we are super excited about. If you haven't heard about our Altruizing Ambassador opportunity, it is an opportunity for students in high school to, if you really have a passion to get people more active in their communities, to help be a part of their communities, then an Altruizing Ambassador you want to look into. So visit our website. Again, I'll have the different links at the end here to learn more about that. Mostly we want it to be fun. We want it to be impactful. And we've got a special thing coming up. So a couple weeks ago, I mentioned we did a special one on scholarships and why this is important for scholarships. There's a lot of different things out there on scholarships. So we're creating an ebook for all you guys. The Altruizing Ambassadors will kind of have first look at it once we complete it. So sign up to be an Altruizing Ambassador. Make sure you download the app. It's available on Apple and Google Play. It's free to download, free to Altruize. We just want you to be purposeful about what you're doing in the communities. And so different things that we've been up to, I mentioned, or that you've been up to. That's what we want to kind of focus on now. If there's anybody out there that's done anything cool, altruizing wise, we want to hear about it. You guys are really good about reaching out to me and to our Altruizing Ambassadors as well. So continue that. We're on Facebook and have an Altruize tribe there. So we encourage you to sign up there. Some other things, just want to highlight these guys again because they're part of our Altruizing Ambassador crew. They started their own fundraiser for their local food pantry selling t-shirts. So again, when you're wondering what can I do, these guys did it during the stay-at-home orders, safe-at-home orders. If you want to get more information from them, you can go to the Facebook page and start that conversation. But they started this during that. They're looking to raise, I think they're pretty close to hitting it, about $2,500 for their local food pantry. So this is just a great example of things that you can do still from home, still, using the technology to help make those connections and make it happen. And fundraising, helping nonprofits fundraise is a great way to do that. So the things we've been doing, again, today, for this week, we wanted to talk about how the job search is so powerful for volunteering. And we've got that interview with Cira Bennett. And I think it's really powerful. I highly encourage you guys to listen to it. She's got some more insight that I didn't completely share with you here. So I encourage you to watch the video. The next thing that we're looking at doing for next week is an update on the scholarships and go through that another time. We've been asked to go run through that. So if anybody missed that's in your current circle of friends, please make sure you pass on the email that we send out as the reminder, and or just tell them about it and have them register. It'll be some great information, and we're looking to unveil the ebook at that time for Altruising Ambassadors, so they might be able to have some feedback as well. For those of you that are still looking for volunteer opportunities that you can get verified by a reputable nationwide nonprofit, March of Dimes, they're still doing their making of masks and willing to verify. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. Just download the Altruize app so they can verify it through the app. You're going to need to upload some pictures of you doing the work. And obviously, they're looking for honesty here as far as how long it takes you to make the masks. There's no sewing required, just rubber bands, old t-shirts, old pieces of fabric. So it's really super simple that way. And we're kind of coming to an end here. So thank you for spending 30 minutes with me today and learning a little bit more about altruizing and how you can have an impact in your community and how that can have an impact on your potential new jobs and careers that you're going into. Again, let's get some positive stuff out there on Facebook. So hashtag Altruize so we can follow you and see what you're up to. And I think that'll be really cool. And let me grab the links for you right now. So stay on here. I throw in a couple extra links just in case there's some stuff you want to review from the other previous weeks. So let's see here. This might not let me have all of these in here, so I might have to take out a few. Okay, so we got those in there. Oh no, that didn't. This should have been a link, the link for Cira's interview. If somebody can copy and paste that in a new tab in their browser and let me know if it brings them where it should before I sign off, I would appreciate it. I'll try it on my end too. Nope. All right. I'll probably keep this open for a little bit longer because I'll now pop back out and make sure I grab the link for this and get that in there for you guys. So if there are no other questions or comments, thank you so much, and look forward to having you guys and seeing you next week. And again, please make sure you're telling others to help extend that altruism, and download the Altruize app. It's on your Google and Apple stores. And thanks. All right, I'll keep this active, the chat area a little bit. I'll end the broadcast so I can hopefully grab that link and make sure it works for you. All right, thanks guys. Stay safe.